Hi everybody, welcome back. Glad you could tune in again. I wanted just to make a single special video to say something that was in the previous video towards the end of it. You can see what it is. It's on here. It's the video on liquid verbs. But I thought it might be helpful just to make a special video about it, just to condense what I'd said in case you missed the stuff in the liquid verbs video, because I think it's quite important. By the time you've got to Jeremy Duff, chapter 11, chapter 12, where we're kind of headed for now, you've probably got to the point where you're realising it's unlikely that you're going to memorise absolutely everything in this book. There are some people who can, fantastic, but most of us, we don't memorise absolutely everything. We should probably try to memorise more than is comfortable for us. But part of the skill of learning Greek is not that you've memorised absolutely every quirky verb paradigm and quirky noun declension that only appears twice in the New Testament. It's about rather understanding the principles by which the language works. And so what I want to do is just to encourage you where to focus your effort, given that we have limited resources. First, it is really important that we understand the principles by which these different grammatical forms and structures work. All of the stuff that I've been sharing with you in these videos, all the stuff that Duff talks about. Second, it is really, really important that you learn the vocabulary, at least the vocabulary that's in Duff. Because if you don't learn the vocabulary, you just have no way of beginning to translate a text. You'll just look at it, you'll be baffled by it, and you'll get depressed, and you'll be put off, and you won't want to come back. And if you don't want to come back, you'll never learn any Greek, because you'll never be reading any. Third thing that's really important to do is do the examples. And as you get better, you're now at the stage where you can start reading some of the Greek New Testament texts that are at the end of the chapters here that Duff has got, like the section C exercises. I'd also encourage you, pick up 1 John, which has quite a restricted vocabulary and lots of nice, familiar sort of sounding phrases, and you'll be able to read a surprising amount of that. Although the first couple of verses have the weirdest grammatical construction in them, so don't worry about that too much. Jump to about verse 5 or something like that. Okay, so where don't you spend your effort? I would encourage you not to worry too much about trying to memorise every last little detail of every last little irregular verb. That's not to discourage you if you're able to do that. I'm just trying to be realistic for the 50, 60, 70, 80% of you guys out there who just are never going to do that. When you're looking at a page, for example, like this, of common liquid verbs, don't torture yourself over the two little things at the bottom of the page that you can't quite remember. You should try to get as many of them as possible into your head. And you should try to do lots of examples. And as you're doing the examples, you'll find that they stick. And the common ones that appear lots of times in the New Testament will also stick. But don't kill yourself over this. Rather, keep moving on. Really work hard to understand the concepts and the principles underlying what you're doing. And if you do lots of reading, and I emphasize that, if you do lots of reading and lots of examples, and if you learn your vocabulary, then when you get to something that's a little bit weird, like if you've never come across this before, apostela, and you didn't really understand it, but you knew that there's such a thing as a liquid verb, and you read it, and you thought, well, I don't know what it is, but it looks like apostello, except it looks like it's an aorist because of the epsilon, and it's got an aorist ending, and hold on a second, it's got a lambda at the end of the stem, and I understand the principle of liquid verbs, which is that the stems end with mu, nu, rho, or lambda, and therefore the stem changes rather than having a sigma at the end. Then you'd think, yeah, this is apostello, and you'd be able to parse it, even though you'd never learned that apostela is how the aorist first singular of apostello is written. Does that make sense? Stick some stuff in the comments if that's not clear to you. If you've got any other questions, then as always, please stick them down there. But I want to encourage you, please keep going. 20 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day, and we will have you reading the New Testament in Greek in no time at all. Okay, God bless. Bye for now.